Hello and welcome back to my channel. Before we go on to the air element, I am deciding to sort of finish it off with telling you a few herbs that will be useful regarding the earth element and the earth elementals, etc. And also how to cast a circle associated with the other realms, because no matter what element you're using, the circle is always cast first. Well, first when you've got everything ready. Now, it is believed that draping bells on apple branches will bring in the good spirit of the other realm. It's also believed that if you ring the bell 3 times, this means a ritual is beginning, it is starting, so they will come if requested to help, aid, or even you find that you get some that come in just to watch. Now, when the ritual's ended, the 3 bells again signify that it has ended to the good spirits of the other realm. So Blackthorn and Hawthorn, these are naturally dual protectors. They do protect Fae trees, and they are associated as sort of the Fae trees, Fae bushes, the Fae crossing, where you can go in there and end up in the Fae realm. That's just obviously myth, not fact. None of what I say has to be taken as fact. It's bits that I was told either as a child that I remember, or that I was told later on. Now I obviously have my own coven and I'm not going to fancify things at all. Could I say I was on a thorned path? I guess so, yes. But there's other things within now that are different. But yes, I've gone back to my roots because I actually feel comfortable there. That's just me. But anyway. Now, if you were to go in here and expect to just come out in the Fae realm, please don't. You could get lost. It's believed that the Fae will create a vision of a maze to get you lost, etc. The little things like that. But regardless of this, they are very, very protective. They have this protective thing, the Blackthorn, Hawthorn. They're good to have around, basically, but they should never, ever be disturbed or damaged, ever. So the yew is very much used. It was used by the druids, it's believed. And it was used in the Attain moments as well because they had the power of divination. Now, this is obviously more known in modern times, but it's also believed to be associated with death because it's usually seen in graveyards. Of course, this is more modern, but the divination power that goes right back to the druids, what they used it for. Now, the circle that will be cast is different to a normal circle. It's more of a circle of enchantment. The idea of that circle, people think it's a protective thing, and it's protective, but at the same time, it's stating that you are in between worlds, that you are not on this realm, nor are you on the other realm. It's being in between. So before I tell you regarding the circle, there's a few more things that's earthly that you may want on your altar or around you. That's the knife, and yes, we just called it a knife. We didn't call it anything else like back then, and I know that's probably boring, but we just called it a knife. Now, this is all about ruthless lessons and channeling personal power. But it's also important to remember that when using a knife, a black handle knife is by far the best. The reason being, it is believed, not fact, that the black handle will bring the protection while using it. Now, obviously, we do not use it on people. It is a ritual item. It is used as above, so below method. I think in modern, that's not how we used it, but in modern times, I believe it's that. But we used it in the same sort of way, just a little bit different, and it was stabbed into the ground, and it was pointed into the air. But we drew triangles with it too. So it's always best to have a black handled, because this will bring the protection when doing rituals. It's just that added bit of protection, I guess. But like I say, it's not fact, guys. It's just what I was learned. So the cauldron is pretty significant, and it's always nice to have a little cauldron. It doesn't have to be a big one at all. It really doesn't. I have a few small ones here and there, and then I have a bigger one, but then I have ordered, which has not yet arrived due to all the chaos, because it's being made at an ironworks place. But it's an actual proper cooking cauldron for outside, but unfortunately, once again, that's been delayed, just like everything else had been delayed. So kind of back at square one waiting. Now, there was a Cauldron of Dagdah. I'm sure you remember me going through the subjects beforehand. This was extremely powerful. And the cauldron's associated now with Cerridwen. And it's not that it wasn't then. It was. She was Lady of the Cauldron, is Lady of the Cauldron. But it's also important to understand that before that, it was the Cauldron of Dagdah, and Dagdah was the leader of the Tuatha Da Danann. Now, there are a few stories regarding the Tuatha, but nobody really knows. Some people say the Tuatha were the ones that chased the fair folk into Middle-earth, but we don't know that. We don't know what drove them away, not really. So, it's a symbol of renewal and abundance. It's healing because of the things you can cook in there to heal. It's nurturing because of the food that can be cooked in there to nurture the tummy, so to speak. But I'm sure you get what I mean. It's not got a gender, the cauldron, by the way. But the idea of it is it's a symbol of all, really, because the food is nurturing and comforting to us. Back then, food was so much more important than it is seen now. So understand that's why it was so comforting. Now, other things you can have on an altar or when you're doing rituals, this is going to sound really strange. Broken objects, shiny things are really good. But yeah, broken objects, this signifies the past in which you've been through that was maybe not so good. Usually you'll find the broken objects are from childhood on these kind of altars, or they are a distant memory of an ancestor's item that you have left, for example. So it's not like you're just shoving broken bits of things on. It has to be of some importance to you, but if it's broken, it's actually better. That's just how it works. It signifies the broken past that's gone and no longer exists, and you are free to be whom you truly are and move forward. Of course, an ancestor's item is said to be quite powerful because it holds their energy still. Energy lingers a long time, and it's believed that working with such an item keeps that energy force around it flowing. But like I say, who knows, Maybe it does, maybe it doesn't. Now, the casting of the circle was done using the knife. Doesn't have to be, but like I say, it's an idea of being between worlds. And this is how you would cast your element circle, etc. for the other realm. I stand between worlds. where time is timeless. Timeless here is the time. I stand here. I stand here now, between worlds, where mortal earth and distant Fae lane. I stand, oh I do stand, now between worlds, where wish and will unite, where the wish and will unite. I welcome all good, friendly spirits and beings of other realms. You are welcome to my altar. This altar is your altar too. To all good spirits, I thank you. I am grateful. To all Fae, I am grateful that you came this way. Now that is opening this circle. Of course, you do have to close it too. Once finished, that's very important. So now you're going to close it. And remember, when you cast your circle, it's best to use a compass. Generally, see, we didn't do it the same because our circle was done northeast. It was in between northeast. I think a lot of people start at north or east now, but I'm not 100%. It's just what I've seen and read. But we did start at northeast point, and when closing it, we started at northeast point, but it was anti-clockwise. So it was anti-clockwise to close and clockwise to open. You can do it the other way. You can do anti-clockwise to open and clockwise to close. What that does, that's for reversal of certain spells, and it's usually when you're working with something that is more on a negative element rather than a positive. And remember, there's no good or bad. There's a balance. So when you are done, the doorway now to the Fae. To the Fae is closed. Flow of time, it returns. The doorway now to the Fae is closed. I now stand upon mortal earth. I now stand upon her ground. I know her worth. The doorway, oh the doorway to the Fae realm is closed. As I will, so it is. As I say, the circle is closed. Elements of spirits, power and the centre. Now I do release you from this circle. Now you are free to return to your home. Be in peace and have your power. Be in peace at this hour. I send you now away home. Hail and blessings to you I send. That's how you would close the circle, and it's very important to send the elements back on their way, because obviously otherwise they may stay, and some of them you might not want to stay. Just an idea. But that's one way of doing your circle that's different. There is another way as well, and it's very odd because if I can remember it rightly, it's starting at northeast and going clockwise. It's by thorns that prick, by seed and growing plants. Come now, elemental spirits, come now to the dance. I open this circle and I open it to you. Do come join us in a dance or two. And that's for the spiral dance, the ceremonial dances, that's what that's for. And to close it, it would be the same, but you would say that you close it instead of open it. Then you would bid farewell, obviously, to the plant spirits, and by thorn, seed, and sprouting bloom, I am grateful, I thank you, we shall meet again soon. So there's a couple of different ways you could do it. I don't know what's screaming. I don't have a clue. If it's a fox or a person, that's the truth. Could be either one, and I apologise. So that's going to end the earth part, I think, other than trees, which we'll get to trees and flowers as we go along, because there's a lot of trees and flowers that you can work with. But for now, yeah, we're going to do the air next, which I like the air because I am air. Love and light and many blessings. Hello and welcome back to my channel. Before we go on to the air